Man, it's been super hot and dry this whole month. August in Virginia, in Richmond, Virginia anyway, is going to be the third driest August on the record book. So it's been really drying up, and even like my best yards, you know, it's growing a little bit, but I mean not as much as it normally does. So that's when you know it's really dry. I mean, she waters and fertilizes. She gets her yard fertilized, she waters it, and it's still not growing that much. And all the yards that aren't fertilizing, all the yards that aren't watering but fertilizing, they're not growing anymore. And the yards that don't fertilize or water have been dried up. Not even the weeds are growing anymore. So I've been skipping yards here and there. Some people, you know, text me or email me and ask me to skip. Some of the people don't say anything, and I just make the moral decision to skip their yard because it just doesn't make sense. There's nothing to cut except for a couple of weeds or something. Some nutsedge popped up here and there. If it looks that bad, I just might whack it real quick with the trimmer and then move on. You know, take 2 minutes maybe at the most. I'm not going to charge them for that, but in most cases I just skip the whole yard altogether. But like others have said, this is the time to start trimming. You know, that's why it's good to have as many services offered as possible for the most part. I mean, I try not to get too carried away. I still want to be 100% serviceable to all of my clients, my weekly clients. But at this point, when it's this dry and you're not mowing 100% of the time, you want to fill that other time up with something, whether it's quality time with your friends and family, working on your business, kind of like rain days, you know, or equipment maintenance, stuff like that, or finding more ways to make money. So without me getting carried away and doing things that's not really part of my business plan and just doing miscellaneous handiwork services and stuff like that, I have enough things to keep me going, like, you know, trimming shrubs. So every year usually this happens where there's a dry couple of weeks, and you know, if you skip a couple yards here and there, you can kind of make up the difference with you know, trimming shrubs or pulling weeds in a mulch bed, stuff that you probably were having a tough time keeping up with when actually when the lawns were growing and you were mowing everything weekly. Because if you're at that point where you're pretty maxed out with lawns to begin with, it starts to get tricky to squeeze in all the extra things that you want to get done or have to get done for your clients. So without working like a 6th day or something like that. So that's what I'm doing now. This lawn still needs to be mowed, but I have a few yards that I'm skipping today, which gives me more time for other things like trimming shrubs. So just gonna rake up the little bit. You know, the shrubs weren't that bad, but a lot of my clients want it to be tip-top and looking nice all the time. So when it starts getting straggly, or you get those crazy shoots that pop up on the very top, especially this big one here, you know, had the sprouts, had the shoots sticking way up. So you know, just cut that off and, you know, move on. But I mean, these here needed, you know, overall cleaning up and shaping. The one back there, so that's just a lot of little pieces. Rake it up real quick, throw it away. Actually, most of the little pieces I just mulch up with the mower. I always trim the shrubs before I mow if it's something that I'm doing both for my client, which I try to coordinate it that way, so that I'm not doing double work, worrying about raking up or cleaning up every little piece when you can just go back over it with the mower and mulch it up, which is not going to be an extra thing, because if you were already going to mow anyway, then it just works out. So that's what I try to do. So this is back by the, you see we got power lines and everything back here. This is like a common area that obviously the power company has to get back and forth. You know, you can see the tire tracks going down the center, but this whole area, that side is those houses' property, this side is these houses' property. So everyone that lives here actually owns the majority of this. You know, her property goes out to where my mower is, basically, you know, the middle of the row. And this has to be maintained. It has to be, you know, kept at a manageable level. It doesn't have to be like perfect or anything, but it just has to be knocked down, because not for the power company, but for the HOA. This HOA rules. You know, people walk back here with their dogs or do whatever. Bottom line is, the homeowners are responsible for maintaining this area, even though they never see it. And they'll get a letter in the mail. You know, some of my customers didn't even know that they were responsible for this area, so they, you know, tell me about the letter, and if I can knock it down, like, you know, once a month or sometimes longer, depending on what the conditions, the weather conditions are and everything. Sometimes the weeds and everything grow faster than other times. Right now it's been so hot and dry. This is like maybe the second or third time I've been out here the entire season. So you can see it hasn't really grown too much, but I just want to knock it down while I'm here, and I have a little bit of time, because like I said earlier, a lot of the yards, or some of my yards, I've been skipping, and a couple of them are today, so I'm trying to get other stuff done that normally I'd be pressed to get done because I'm so busy. So, but anyway, yeah, just knocking that down, then I'll be wrapping this yard up. It's finally raining. Man, this grass needs it.